This is cool video. Fox 4's cameras rolling as a dramatic wildlife rescue plays out in Cape Coral. State wildlife officers working with firefighters and neighbors to save this bald eagle that was clearly struggling. It happened in a canal in the 2000 block of 16th Street in the Southeast Cape. And as I'm about to show you, helping this eagle in need was not easy indeed. At first glance, it looks like just another backyard boat, but zoom in and you'll see the problem. A nervous bald eagle sits on the ladder, essentially stranded on Dick Liebert's Pride and Joy.
It's kind of unique. I went and grabbed my camera like everybody else.
He's not alone. They watch from their docks, their porches, pointing at the eagle they're used to seeing in a nest above their neighborhood. But on this night,
it was in the canal across from us trying to get off on the seawall, get up out of the water in the seawall.
The bird unable to fly out of the canal, so neighbors try to help.
One of these guys had a pool screen, a pool net, and got him out.
Even then, the eagle can't fly.
The bird just looked sick. His wings were working, but he couldn't get off the ground.
And it doesn't stay out of the water.
They went right back down into the canal.
Someone calls the fire department, who dutifully shows up.
It looks like he may have an injured wing.
But it can still move enough to elude capture. This is not your average cat stuck in a tree case.
I mean, we don't rescue too many birds out of canals. Usually the only birds we see in the water is pelicans, and they fly off on their own.
The fire department calling in the specialists, the state fish and wildlife officers. But as they approach, the eagle scurries away. Neighbors watch as the bird briefly drops into the water again and with some gentle prodding, thrusts itself into the yard, awkwardly managing to elude officers scrambling after it. They use a net to hold it in place and drop a towel over it. It's then put into a cardboard box and then this passenger seat on what neighbors hope will be the road to recovery.
It's like our American, icon, and it's just very sad to see one being hurt or think he's injured.
Now, at last check, they were talking about taking that eagle to the wildlife clinic named Crow on Sanibel, and we'll keep you posted on the bird's condition.
The crowd began swelling outside the Alico Arena 2 hours before tip-off. When the moment arrived, fans were no less excited to be cheering on FGCU in the NIT, even though some felt they should be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think it wasn't fair because they deserve the same exact stuff as the men.
But the Lady Eagles turned the snubbing into motivation, winning 4 straight games to reach the NIT semifinal against Michigan.
Oh, we can do it. We can do anything. We're the Eagles here.
Just 3 more words. Let's go blue.
But even the fans of the Maize and Blue probably didn't know what they were getting themselves into tonight. The winning tradition and the raucous crowd packed up to the rafters tonight, many of them confident Florida Gulf Coast will make it to the next round.
We are all ready to go to the championship game. Some of us are going to travel to South Dakota for the game if it's there, but we're ready for it.
Kimberly Phillips' mortgage included payments to her insurance company, but she now says her insurance isn't taking care of her. Kimberly Phillips is trying to pick up the charred pieces to her life after a fire roared through her house in February.
And then this is what happened through the kitchen. This is the kitchen, and this was my laundry room. This is where the fire started. As you can see, it came up and it just went whoosh.
Her children and grandchildren got out alive, but her mother didn't make it.
When I come here and clean, and I think about my mom all the time.
She is slowly cleaning up what's left of her house because her insurance isn't enough to pay for a wrecking crew.
We have shoveled and raked and taken everything out of this house by ourselves.
Kimberly feels abandoned by her insurance company and her bank.
You've lost everything?
We lost everything.
I mean, I see you crying. What's going through your mind right now?
What's going through my mind right now is that I wish for everybody who has house insurance to check their insurance.
Come to find out, Kimberly's insurance was for the bare minimum required by the bank. She realizes now that it only covered the mortgage and some of the cost to rebuild.
Just thought that when you're paying $1,200 in insurance, you figured that you got some good insurance, that you're gonna be able to be okay.
But that wasn't the case.
Wasn't the case.
Do you regret that you made these assumptions?
Yeah. If only I knew Some people just don't know these things. Check your policies, because if you don't got the coverage you need, you're going to be out on the street.
I spoke with several insurance agents about Kimberly, and they all made the same recommendations. Check your policy. Don't assume anything. Also, reach out to an independent agent and get a replacement value estimate. And insure for replacement value, not what you can sell it for. Kimberly says her family just isn't making it and will be losing their temporary housing. If you'd like to help, just go to our website and click on this story. Warren Wright, Fox 4, in your corner.
When Justin Pham said goodbye to his friends and coworkers at Pulse nightclub, he had no idea it would be a final farewell.
Just saying bye to everyone, going around the club, saying bye to all, all the staff, all the people that I know, and just telling them to be safe and have a great night,
Pham snapped these final photos of his two best friends, Juan Rivera and Luis Conde. They were a married couple, both killed by the shooter.
They were actually really good friends of mine. I met them 2 years prior, and ever since, we've been really good friends, and they consider me like their son, and I've always looked up to them like parents.
What do you remember about them the most?
Just their personalities. They were just...
Around 2 a.m., minutes after Pham left the club, the shootings began. When Pham found out, he didn't run away. Instead, he ran back to the club. Moments later, police arrived, but Pham says they didn't go inside the club.
The cops and SWAT team was there, but there was no moves being made, and they didn't quite know the premises too well, so that's where I came in.
Around 4 a.m., almost 2 hours after the shootings began, Pham was frantic. He focused, explaining to police how they could get inside the club.
I gave them a layout. They asked me to draw out the club and, just to tell them, okay, what doors are where,
Pham noted each exit, room, and hallway, helping police to execute both a strategy and the killer.
I was of assistance to kind of help them, maneuver and try to get into the club in a manner where they wouldn't hurt the other victims that were still in the building.
Police then stormed into Pulse around 5 and shot the suspect dead. Pham watched helplessly.
I totally would say he's a hero.
Andy Spalding is a local drag queen and one of Pham's Fort Myers friends. He says as extraordinary as this all seems, Pham isn't one to brag about his heroic actions.
I'm so surprised that he didn't post that on Facebook, didn't do anything, but I mean, just in not advertising that he went back to do that, I mean, just proves that it was a selfless act, that it was just his minor little thing that he could do that had such a big impact.
He's humble.
Yeah.
Mike Mason, Fox 4, in your corner.